Sleeping the right way, 6 tips to help prolong life that few people talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember when you were young? The time when you just laid down on the bed and slept straight through until morning. You didn't have to worry about much, didn't need to count sheep, didn't need essential oils or soft music like now. But the older you get, the more tricky your sleep becomes. If you go to bed early, you'll toss and turn. If you go to bed late, you'll wake up feeling lethargic, your mind as hazy as the morning dew that hasn't yet cleared. I have a close friend, 72 years old, living in California. She told me this: I never thought sleep was so important that it affected my longevity. But since I adjusted my sleeping habits, I've become healthier, I eat better, and my memory has also improved. Hearing that, I was really surprised. It turns out that for a long time, I had been taking for granted something that seemed so normal: sleeping the right way. We often pay attention to eating, exercising, and having regular health checkups, but rarely ask the question, am I sleeping properly? Meanwhile, modern science has repeatedly confirmed sleep is not just for rest, but also for the body to regenerate, recover, and even repair hidden internal damage. A study at Harvard University once showed that people who sleep regularly, deeply, and at the right time every night have a 35% lower risk of heart disease than people who sleep irregularly. Sleeping improperly not only makes us tired, but also increases the risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, and even memory loss in old age. In this video, we will not talk about general tips like get 8 hours of sleep or avoid drinking coffee at night. Everyone knows those. Instead, I want to explore with everyone 6 special tips, things that few people talk about, but have a profound impact on our health and longevity as we age. And if anyone has ever felt like they often wake up in the middle of the night, wake up tired in the morning, or even can't fall asleep even though they are very sleepy, today's sharing will really help a lot. Okay, let's not keep you waiting any longer. Let's start with the first tip, something that seems like everyone can do, but in fact, doing it right is not easy. Choose the right time to go to bed. I know, many of us have the habit of sleeping when we feel sleepy. It sounds reasonable, but science shows that the human body follows a very strict biological cycle, called the circadian rhythm or internal biological clock. It controls all activities, from hormone secretion, body temperature regulation, to hunger or sleepiness. The problem is that if you go to bed at a time that your body has programmed you to rest, your sleep will be shallow, fitful, and not restorative. In old age, the quality of your sleep is more important than the quantity. Sleeping for 5 hours with deep sleep is better than sleeping for 8 hours with restless sleep. According to experts from the U.S. National Sleep Institute, the golden time for the elderly to start sleeping is from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is when the body begins to cool down. The brain secretes melatonin, a hormone that helps induce natural sleepiness. If you miss this time frame, your body will have to wait for the next cycle, usually 90 minutes later, making you stay up later, making it harder to sleep. I have tried going to bed regularly at 9:15 p.m. every day, regardless of whether I was busy or free that day. The results were surprising. After just 1 week, I didn't need an alarm clock and still woke up at 5:30 a.m., feeling healthy and clear-headed. So, the first tip to prolonging your life is, choose a fixed bedtime and stick to it every day like a ritual. And once you've chosen a suitable bedtime, the next thing we need to do, it may sound strange, is extremely important. Keep your feet warm when you sleep. That's the second tip. Speaking of this, many people will be surprised. Why the feet? But the truth is, the feet are the most important place to regulate body temperature during sleep. I remember reading a document from the University of Pittsburgh, where they conducted a study on thousands of elderly people and discovered that, when the feet are kept warm with thin socks, sleep will come 15 minutes faster on average, and the time of deep sleep increases by nearly 30%. The body of the elderly has a poorer circulatory system, thinner skin, so it is easy to get cold. When the feet are cold, the blood vessels constrict, causing blood circulation to slow down, and that sends a warning signal to the brain that it is not possible to sleep yet. This is also the reason why many elderly people often wake up at night because of cold feet or cramps. Every night, I have a separate pair of socks by my bedside, not thick wool socks, but thin, breathable cotton. One day, I forgot to put on socks and woke up at 2 a.m. because my feet were freezing. And once I was awake, it was hard to fall back asleep. So, if you're struggling with light sleep, try this simple but effective tip: keep your feet warm, and see if it helps you fall asleep easier. Sometimes, the simplest things make the biggest difference. But of course, sleep isn't just affected by the time of day or body temperature. There's another factor, quiet but powerful, that determines the quality of our nightly sleep. Tip 3 is about light. Just like plants need the sun to grow, our bodies need light, not just to wake up, but also to sleep. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But it's true. Morning light resets our body clock every day. When natural light hits our eyes in the early morning, even for just 15 minutes, it sends a signal to our brain: it's morning, let's get started. Thanks to that, the body will increase the production of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that helps us stay awake during the day, and is also a precursor to creating melatonin in the evening. That means, if we are not exposed to natural light in the morning, it is very easy for us to have trouble sleeping at night, and have difficulty sleeping deeply, because the body does not produce enough melatonin. I have a nephew who lives in Seattle, where the winter is gloomy all week, who said that his grandmother had to use a daylight lamp to replace the sun in the morning. And surprisingly, after 2 weeks, her grandmother started to sleep like before, without medication. Therefore, I always advise my friends, take advantage of every morning, as soon as you wake up, to open the window, step out onto the balcony, or simply sit near the window for 15 minutes to bathe in natural light. This helps adjust the biological clock, and is a free remedy for a better night's sleep. So we have talked about the first 3 things to improve sleep, and also 3 simple but effective ways to naturally prolong life: go to bed on time, keep your feet warm, and charge the light in the morning. Each of these things, while sounding simple, is based on clear scientific basis and practical experience from seniors like ourselves. In the next part, I will continue to share other tips, no less interesting, to help the body recover more deeply during each night of sleep, so that in the morning you always feel like you are recharged with life energy. Continuing our unfinished story, I want to share 3 more tips, which I believe will make many people say aha, because they have never thought of them before. Who knows, these things may help you have a better night's sleep every night, a sleep that helps the body recover and the mind become clearer. Let's come to the 4th tip, which sounds a bit strange, but is extremely practical. Don't go to bed with a busy stomach. Someone once jokingly said, it's hard to sleep on an empty stomach, but it's hard to sleep on a full stomach. It sounded like a joke, but it turned out to be so true. I have a cousin, he's almost 80, who used to take out a bowl of instant noodles every night at 9 p.m., saying that eating will help you sleep better. But every night, he tossed and turned, bloated, had indigestion, and in the morning, his eyes were dark and his body was exhausted. Why is this? Because when we eat close to bedtime, our bodies spend energy digesting food, instead of using that time to rest. The stomach works, the liver filters blood, the pancreas secretes insulin, a whole biological factory that operates while we are trying to sleep. The result is fragmented sleep, making it difficult to reach deep sleep, where the body truly recovers. Conversely, if the stomach is too hungry, the body secretes the hormones cortisol and adrenaline to warn that it needs to find food. And so, it is difficult to sleep. So, what is the solution? Nutritionists advise you should eat dinner at least 2 to 3 hours before going to bed, and avoid foods that are greasy, spicy, or contain caffeine. If you feel hungry before bed, you can have a small snack, for example, a slice of brown bread, a little warm milk, or half a banana. These foods are easy to digest and help create a pleasant feeling in the stomach. I usually drink a small glass of warm milk, no sugar, about 30 minutes before going to bed. It warms the stomach and creates a feeling of relaxation. Since changing this habit, I find that sleep comes much easier, and I no longer have a full stomach in the middle of the night like before. So, the 4th tip is, don't let your stomach wake up while you're sleeping. That's a way for your body to thank you. Now let's move on to the 5th tip, an extremely important tip, but one that is easily overlooked. Don't bring your worries to bed. It sounds like a poem, but it is actually a great lesson that I learned after many years of tossing and turning. Many of us, especially when we are older, have the habit of thinking about the past before going to bed. From the past events of the day, to worries about children, money, health. Then recalling sad things, regretting something in the past. Sometimes it's just a sigh, but it's enough to make sleep fitful all night. I once heard a Thai psychologist say, "The bed is a place to rest, not a place to think." If you turn the bed into a place to analyze, worry, calculate, then the brain will get used to it. And the next time, when you lie down, it will start up thinking mode instead of sleeping mode. So I practice a new habit. 30 minutes before going to bed, I will write down on paper 3 things that made me happy that day, even if they are very small. Today is a beautiful sunny day, lunch was delicious, happy conversation with old friends. Then I tell myself, everything else I'll continue tomorrow. Now it's time for sleep. And surprisingly, this simple trick really works. My mind calms down. My emotions are soothed. My brain is no longer overloaded before bed. You can also try writing a gratitude journal, or listening to some soft music, or simply taking a few deep breaths before going to bed. These little things, like a switch that helps us turn off the flow of thoughts, to clear the way for a more complete sleep. So, don't bring your worries to bed. Let your mind rest, just like your body. And finally, a very small tip, but can make a big difference for the elderly. Choose the right pillow to support not only your neck, but your whole life. Sounds simple, right? But I bet most of us have never really paid attention to the pillow we use every night. I once had a sore neck that lasted for a month, went to acupuncture, took medicine, did physical therapy, but it didn't help. Until the doctor asked me a seemingly innocuous question. Do you sleep on a high or low pillow? It turns out that a pillow that is too high causes the neck to bend, a pillow that is too soft causes the head to sink, and both cause the spine to misalign, causing muscle tension throughout the night. At my age, my bones and joints are weak, and sleeping in the wrong position can cause pain all day long. Then, I switched to a memory foam pillow, which has a slight elasticity and is designed to support the neck. After just 1 week, my neck no longer aches and I sleep much better. According to sleep experts, older people should choose a pillow that is about 8 to 12 centimeters high, slightly tilted to the low side if sleeping on their back, or provides good neck support if sleeping on their side. In addition, pillows should be replaced every 1 to 2 years, because old pillows accumulate dust, bacteria, and lose elasticity, affecting the quality of sleep. So, if you find yourself waking up with a stiff neck, sore shoulders, or light sleep, take a look at your familiar pillow. Who knows, just by making that small change, your sleep will change. And so, together we have fully explored 6 tips for sleeping properly. Small, simple but extremely effective tips to maintain health and prolong life in old age. First, choose a fixed bedtime to keep the biological clock working regularly. Second, keep your feet warm to circulate blood well and fall into deep sleep easily. Third, exposure to morning light to help the body sleep well at night. Fourth, do not eat close to bedtime to rest the stomach. Fifth, let go of worries before going to bed to relax the mind. Sixth, choose the right pillow to protect the neck, shoulders, and entire spine when sleeping. Dear friend, when we are young, we may consider sleep as natural, but when we enter old age, we understand that good sleep is a precious gift. And that gift, we can absolutely give ourselves, if we know how to take care of it properly. I wish you, starting from tonight, will have a really peaceful sleep. Every morning when you wake up, you will feel relieved, your mind is clear, and your body feels refreshed. If you find this video useful, don't forget to share it with your relatives and friends, so that everyone can have a proper sleep, a longer and happier life. Old age probably doesn't need too many complicated things. Just a good night's sleep, a warm meal, a few minutes of happy conversation, and your heart will be relieved, your spirit will be cheerful. Sleep, which seems like a simple thing every day, is the foundation for health, for memory, for a clear mind in old age. And the great thing is, we can start changing our sleep from tonight with the little tips I just shared. If you find this video useful, please click the like button to let me know you are still with me. And if you want to continue receiving gentle, practical sharing, click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that I can meet you again every day in the next stories. In addition, if you want to share your feelings after watching the video, leave a comment below. I look forward to reading each line of your confidences because each story is a precious thing. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Wishing you a peaceful night and a deep, light, and gentle sleep. See you in the next video.